All right, let's get right into it. We hear this term, the cloud, all the time, right? We're told to save our photos to it, stream our favorite shows from it, even run entire businesses on it. But what actually is it? We're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important and maybe most misunderstood ideas in all of modern technology.
So let's start with a really simple question. Think about the last time you sat down to watch, say, Netflix. You hit play on your remote and boom, the movie just appears on your screen. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where's that movie file exactly? Is it, like, stored inside your TV? Is it literally floating up in the sky somewhere? The answer to this gets us right to the heart of what the cloud really is.
And yeah, the answer to that question? It reveals the huge idea behind the cloud. So let's start with a really clear definition, just so we're all on the same page. At its core, this is it. Cloud computing is just a way of delivering all kinds of computer services. We're talking servers, storage, databases, software, you name it, over the internet. So instead of you owning and managing all your own computer stuff, you're basically accessing it from someone else who does all that for you.
Honestly, the best analogy for this is to think of it like the electricity in your house. You don't build a giant power plant in your backyard just to turn on a lamp, right? Of course not. You just plug into the grid, use what you need, and you pay the utility company for it. The cloud is the exact same idea, but for computing power. Netflix doesn't need its own global network of servers. It just plugs into the cloud and pays for what it uses. Simple as that.
Okay, so now that we get the basic idea, let's look at how people actually use it, because it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. There are a few different models, or you could call them flavors, of cloud services, and each one gives you a different level of control and convenience.
The three main models are probably best explained with a little real estate analogy. First, you've got IaaS, which is kind of like renting a raw piece of land. You get total control, but you have to build absolutely everything yourself. The house, the plumbing, everything. Then there's PaaS. This is more like renting a house. The foundation and walls are already there. You just bring in your own furniture, or in this case, your own apps and data. And finally, you have SaaS. This is the hotel room. Everything is ready to go. You just show up and use it. This is your Gmail, your Zoom, and you guessed it, Netflix.
So beyond the type of service you're using, there's also the choice of where it all runs. And this really boils down to one fundamental choice. Do you want to share your space, or do you want to have it all to yourself? And here's the key trade-off. A public cloud, think Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud, is like living in a massive apartment building. It's open to lots of people, it's super cost-effective because you only pay for your unit, but you have less control and you share the building's security. On the other hand, a private cloud is like owning your own single-family home. It's dedicated just to you, so you have total control and can build whatever custom security you want, but as you can imagine, it costs a lot more upfront to build and maintain.
So with all these options, you have to wonder, why did the cloud model become so completely dominant over the last decade? I mean, it totally took over. Well, the answer is in a set of really powerful benefits that just changed the entire game for how businesses work.
I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way, you had to spend a ton of money up front to buy these huge, expensive servers. Then you had to wait weeks, sometimes months, for them to show up. And then you had to pay a whole team just to keep them running. If your website suddenly got popular, good luck scaling up in time. The cloud just flipped that whole model on its head. Now there's no big upfront cost, you pay for what you use, you can scale up or down in minutes, and someone else handles all the messy maintenance. It's just a revolution in speed and efficiency.
And this really sums up the game changers. It's cost-effective, it is massively scalable, it's accessible from any device anywhere in the world with an internet connection. It's incredibly reliable, with all sorts of backups built right in. And maybe most important of all, it's fast. This speed lets companies try out new ideas and innovate at a pace that was totally unimaginable just 15 years ago.
Okay, but we've been talking about this cloud as if it's some kind of magic floating around us. It's not. Not at all. It all runs on a very real, very physical foundation. So for this last part, let's peel back that final layer and look at the actual network that makes the whole thing possible.
It all starts with a super basic idea, a computer network. That's really just two or more devices that are connected so they can talk to each other and share stuff. Your home Wi-Fi? That's a small network. The internet? That's a gigantic global network.
You can think of these networks as the roads and highways that all the data in the cloud travels on.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. A LAN, or local area network, might just connect your house. A MAN, a metropolitan area network, could connect an entire city. But a WAN, a wide area network, that can connect a whole country or even the entire planet. It's this massive WAN, which is what the internet is, that forms the backbone of the cloud, letting data zip between continents in the blink of an eye.
And this, right here, is the big reveal. The secret. The cloud isn't some abstract thing floating above our heads. It's millions and millions of powerful computers sitting in enormous, hyper-secure buildings called data centers, physically located all over the world. And they're all connected by this insane, complex web of fiber optic cables running under our streets and across the floors of our oceans. That movie you're streaming from Netflix? It's just data making a very real physical journey from one of these buildings through those cables to your screen in a fraction of a second. It's not magic. It's just incredible engineering.
So the whole story of the cloud so far has been about centralization, moving everything into these giant central data centers. But what if the next big revolution is the complete opposite? There's this new idea called edge computing that wants to push all that computing power back out from the center and way closer to you. Maybe even to a tiny server on your street corner? So if the cloud gave us things like Netflix, what kind of things could a cloud in your own neighborhood make possible? Something to think about.